tribute to the titans of the piano and keyboard, a journey through precision, innovation, and artistry. Over the past number of years on this channel, a lot of people have asked me, who are your keyboard heroes? Who do you listen to? How do you get so good? Well, as a passionate pianist and keyboardist, I have been profoundly influenced by several titans of music, each of whom has left an indelible mark on my playing, my style, and musical philosophy. Not in any particular order, let's talk about them one by one. Number 1, Chick Corea, a maestro of meter and timing. Chick's unparalleled precision shines in every quaver. With a drummer's background, he brings a rhythmic acuity to his playing, and he performs in a way that is almost palpable. His mastery of timing and structure makes every performance a study in perfection. Oh my goodness. He is such a delight to watch and listen to. Rest his soul. I was fortunate enough to meet Chick in London in the early 2000s, and I received an impromptu backstage lesson on improvisation, a moment that has significantly shaped my approach to music. Number 2, Herbie Hancock. Herbie's versatility bridges the realms of traditional jazz and contemporary keyboard innovation. Albums like Rocket and Chameleon showcase his ability to transform, like a chameleon if I may add, the keyboard into an expressive voice that transcends musical genres. His approach to music is a seamless blend of technical skill and heartfelt emotion, and it makes him a pioneer in the evolution of jazz. Participating in his masterclass a few years back, being one of the early reviewers of the class was like receiving a direct transmission of his creative spirit. And I'm talking about his masterclass course. This was almost 10 years ago when I was tapped on the shoulder to be one of the reviewers of that course. Such a great course if you haven't already taken it. Tyner. Tyner, known for his powerful modal jazz and rich earthy tones, is an absolute joy. And in my mind, he is a musical doorway to the raw, visceral essence of jazz. Just listen to a little bit of McCoy in his element. And I'm not talking about, just early 60s McCoy. I'm talking about late 60s, 70s. His commitment to the acoustic piano and his ability to stay contemporary, even without touching a keyboard, is a testament to his profound connection. There's one time Herbie Hancock had to play with the great John Coltrane, and as the story goes, Herbie said, I gotta learn all that McCoy Tyner stuff. And McCoy was admired by his peers, was admired by those around him because his music was always vibrant and full of life, and it continues to inspire with its bold textures and complex rhythms. But when you think about that quartet, when you think about John Coltrane, you think about Jimmy, think about Elvin and McCoy, my goodness. If you haven't listened to that quartet, you need to. You need to get into the essence of this raw, visceral jazz feel. Very earthy, very motherlandish. Those chordals, my goodness. What more can I say? Next, Keith Jarrett. In my mind, I often liken Keith Jarrett to the Apple. The Apple company that makes the iPhones because of their aesthetics and design. Well, I often liken Keith Jarrett to the Apple of the piano world because of his polished performances and his aesthetically pleasing soundscapes. Keith Jarrett paints musical pictures that resonate with the authenticity and emotional depth that you would expect from a maestro. From a Da Vinci of our age, his performances are lush tapestries of sound, full of color and life, yet capable of delving deeper into dissonance, as he exhibited in some of his later works. Complexity, counterpoints, dissonance, almost sounding like chaos to the untrained ear. But to those who understand, his artistry invites listeners into a sonic world that can be described as enchanting and profoundly moving. If you haven't listened to any of the artists I've mentioned so far, I want to invite you to look out for some notable collaborations. Herbie Hancock collaborating with Chick Corea, two pianos at once, and Chick Corea and Keith Jarrett playing two pianos at once in the classical genre. Very impressive. The next artist is one who is a defining figure in the smooth and the cool jazz. I'm talking about Bob James. Also in the world of hip hop, an iconic figure. His work on the electric piano, on the roads, has become a cornerstone of my musical foundation. I remember listening to Bob James 2 and 3, and my mind being utterly blown by this genius. Bob has gotten a lot of accolades in the world of hip hop. In my mind, more is definitely deserved in the world of jazz. His deliciously smooth grooves and tasteful articulation have inspired me to explore the rich possibilities of the keyboard. His influence is a constant presence in my music. I still remember listening to Westchester Lady and a lot of his earlier TITANS recordings from way back. What a powerhouse, what a gem. And to be perfectly honest, my first adventures into jazz were actually with Bob James before I found the other luminaries that I've already mentioned. So, the position in this list is not to be confused with importance. Bob James is definitely a pivotal figure when it comes to my music and my jazz. He's very, very articulate, and at the same time, he uses the power of simplicity and the beauty of delicious, well-crafted melodies. Bob is equally awesome on the piano as he is on the roads and other synth instruments. Some favorites of mine, including Bob James 3 and 4, are some of his mid-80s work, like Grand Piano Canyon, great one to listen to, and Morning, Noon, and Night, that was early 2000s, and Joyride, really, really great albums to listen to. Last but not least is Bill Evans, a pioneer of modern jazz piano. Bill's use of voicings and harmonic structures opened new pathways for emotional expression through the keys. His style, characterized by its openness and, you could say, modern feel, has influenced countless pianists, including me. Now, while I haven't been that astute a student studying every single nuance of his playing, when I listen to him, what I get is the feel, the openness, and the angular nature of some of his chordal voicings. Open, yet rich and full and tasty. And his recordings are lessons in the art of piano playing. Other artists and luminaries exist who I have listened to, and I will shake my head, and I'll need to do a lot of work to better analyze the brilliance I'm hearing. One who comes to mind is Tatum, another Errol Garner, and last but not least, a musical powerhouse, very well known for his lightning speed. In fact, quite scary to listen to. And his name is Oscar Peterson. Listening to Oscar Peterson opened the wormhole of the impossible. Listening to what he did, how he did it, actually being able to see what he was doing on the piano when I eventually saw videos of him. Oh my goodness. This guy is out of this world. Now, I did talk about Art Tatum briefly, but Oscar was influenced by Art. Two absolutely mind-blowing, amazing pianists. I hope that gave you some ideas of who I listen to, who I have been influenced by, and who I continue to learn from. The proof of the pudding is all in the eating. So eat as much music as you can. Look for people who tickle your fancy, learn, and then put that back into the pipeline of your own projects, of your own playing. And while you may not be like any of the artists you admire completely, you can take away the inspiration to be the very best version of yourself.